What will happen to James Bond in No Time to Die? That's what we're going to discuss on today's show. Hey, it's me, AP, and welcome everyone to the Saturday Movie Show, the show where we discuss everything about movies. And today's show, as I said in the intro and the pre-intro, we will be discussing James Bond in his new movie, his new adventure, No Time to Die. And this is the new movie that is coming out very, very soon. I think it's the back end of September here in the UK. I think it's early October, a few days later, the rest of the world. We've been waiting a long time for this James Bond movie. I decided to make today's episode a discussion episode, a discussion pre-film episode, discussion predictions about the movie. Because I'm a big James Bond fan, I like the James Bond movies, and we've been waiting a long time for No Time to Die. I keep on thinking, is it No Time for Die? Is it No Time to Die? A lot of the James Bond movie titles sound very similar, don't they? Like End of Tomorrow, or No Tomorrow Never Dies, or No Time to Die. They're all very similar titles, but I'm very much looking forward to the new James Bond movie, Daniel Craig's final outing as James Bond. And today, that's going to be the headline topic. Later on in the show, we're going to deep dive into that topic. But before we get to the headline topic of today's show, ladies and gents, hello everyone. My name's AP. As you know, I can't even remember if I introduced myself. Was I excited over talking about James Bond? Maybe I did. But look, before we get to the headline, we're going to do what we do on the show every single week. Now, we're going to do some not-so-worthy blockbuster housekeeping. This is the part of the show where we talk about what's going on the channel, just overall a chat of what things are going on. This is a nice little warm-up chat. I warm-up chat for the rest of the show. I always find this to be a fun segment of the show now, the not-so-worthy blockbuster housekeeping section. So, what is on today's housekeeping? We have got, first of all, this week, I put out a new video on the channel this Thursday. New videos on the channel Thursdays and Saturdays at this moment in time. We have our normal weekly video, and then we have the Saturday Movie Show podcast on Saturdays, funny enough. But we had this week, this Thursday, we had a new video come out, and it was a video where I launched a new series, and the series is called The World Movie League. The World Movie League, and this was something I kind of wanted to do something like this. Basically, it's going to be like a knockout tournament where I put films against other films and find out the winner, and it's going to be a long-running tournament. And on that first video, I did the official draw of all the movies in the tournament, in the knockout tournament league, and it's all comic book based movies or graphic novel movies. So it's all very much comic book superhero movies. Great first video. I really enjoyed doing it. It was fun to make. It's a fun concept for me to make videos on. The concept really, I wanted to find something what could be a long-running series of the Thursday videos, because sometimes I'm scratching my head for a few ideas, and I feel like sometimes just to break it up from like the usual lists and stuff, it's fun to do. So, and also I gotta say, this is I'm throwing it out there. Really inspired by the Gaming Off the Grid channel. They do a video series. They do Console Madness. And then they do the video game, I think it's called Video Game Madness, where they go through different titles of games and find out which is the best one. And they did the same with consoles. Very much inspired by that. Very much inspired by sports as well, because I'm a big sports fan. But definitely check out those guys, Gaming Off the Grid. Superb channel. I found out about them a few months ago now through Metal Jesus Rocks' channel. Superb gaming channel, and just all about like retro stuff, video games, movies, wrestling. They do a really good channel. Two awesome guys there. They inspired it, and like I said, football. Me being a big sports fan, big wrestling fan myself, it really inspired it. Kind of took a bit of inspiration from some of the stuff I'm doing on the Patreon as well. were like Watch Order Task Force, where it's a bit more like gimmicky with the things I'm doing. Like I introduced myself as the commissioner of the World Movie League, and I did like a character on it called Buck Sculdone on the first episode, on the opener episode of the World Movie League. It's just good fun, you know. It's all good fun, and the idea is just like to make it more silly and just some different content and make it a different feel. I don't feel like I nailed it to the ground what I wanted to do in the first one, but you know, it's a long run thing, and I feel like it'll find its own little identity along the way. And I want it to feel like a different show from the usual videos that come out on the channel. But it's like I said, there's a lot of inspirations. The gaming off the grid guys, sports in general, and definitely like WWF, WWE. Probably like 80s WWF. Even though I didn't watch that era as a kid, but watching clips since, just like the cheesiness of it, and that's what I want to throw into the World Movie League. So there's gonna be little like me doing impressions and stuff like that on it, and in between me judging the best movie. But like I said, long term, yous will be in charge. The community will be in charge. Once we get to the 1K, we have to. It's I suppose it makes it a bit of a fun achievement to get to. Doesn't it? It's like video games, like the achievements on the Xbox 360, or the Xbox in general, where you're hitting them achievement marks. And it's like YouTube, like our goal now as a channel, we want to get to 500. That is the aim for the end of the year. But if we can get 1K, we get access to the community tab, where we can start doing like polls, questions, and just tons of like topic things. It'll open up a few more doors for the community, for the channel to grow even more so. So that is the aim with the World Movie League for long term, that yous will be the deciding factor who wins and who goes through to the next round of this knockout league. But yeah, it's just more content for the channel, more fun. It's something that I've really looking. You can hear a toilet. There's a toilet going off beside me. How embarrassing! As always, I'm sure you've heard that on the show before, but yeah. It was good fun, and I'm looking forward to doing it as Commissioner AP, Commissioner of the World Movie League. I'm looking forward to doing more episodes of that. What else is going on with the channel in the YouTube world? Well, this Monday I put out a new podcast on Patreon, a new Patreon bonus podcast. It is the Coffee and Movie broadcast. I think next month we'll probably look at doing a slightly different podcast, because I've done quite a few of the Coffee and Movie broadcast over the past couple of months. So maybe like another Watch Order Task Force or something different. But again, another fun episode, what I really enjoyed doing. I think it was like an hour, just over an hour podcast. And it was me tasting coffee. I had an iced coffee, I think. Again, a different one than last time. I had 3 films on the agenda. There was Looper, The Force Awakens, and what was the third movie? Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, the 1990s one. And look, it was a really fun podcast to do, and this is a show where I discuss coffee and movies. It's what it says on the tin. Do you know what I mean? You can see what it says, but as I always say, you know the drill. If you want extra content, it's there on Patreon. It's not going anywhere. You can come and go. Don't feel like you have to always be there for it. You can sign up for 1 month. You can come out if you want it. That's there. Do you know, I never want anyone to feel like they have to stay and support the Patreon. You can just come in, come back, do what you want. But it's there if you do want the extra content. That's what I want to say. But that was another fun podcast. What I can say though, this is today show 44 of the Saturday Movie Show. If you've been watching every episode of the Saturday Movie Show, I'd love to know if there's someone out there who's watched every single episode. If you have, that is awesome. If there's more than one person who's watched it, that's even better. That's great. Let me know how many episodes you've watched. But we're on show 44. We've been talking over the past couple of weeks. We've been saying what's going to come up for show 50. We want to do something special for the channel for show number 50, and the plan of action was initially to do top 10 movies. This was another idea, but to be honest with you, what also inspired the World Movie League video series, because I couldn't get to decide on my favourite movies, and I felt like if I did it through a league through a little tournament, I could work out my best movies that way, like really tactically doing it. That was another reason why what inspired the World Movie League new series, video series. But we have got coming up the 50th show in a few weeks. I might be doing some rescheduling around, I must say, because I know that DC has this big fandom event coming up in October, and I need to look at the dates. Because I imagine once that is released, and I'm sure Disney do one around that same time, so we may have to put like a hold on one of the Saturday movie shows so we get to the 50th. I'll plan it out. I'll suss it all out the schedule. So it may not be exactly like 5 or 6 weeks ahead now. It could be 7 or 8. We're going to look at the schedule, see where we're up to, and go from there. But for the 50th episode, we are going to do, now this is going to be set in stone, best movie, the best year of movies. Best year of movies episode. I think I mentioned it a few weeks ago now. I am going to give you my 4 choices of the best year of movies. I'm going to pick one single year. That's all I can pick. And I've got to get 4 of that the year's movies from that year and explain why it's my favourite year. But I do want this to be a collaboration of the community. You, the community out there. I want people to get involved in this video if you want to. So this is an open invitation to anyone out there who wants to get involved. I've now set up an email address. So we're moving forward. Things, you know, the keys in the ignition, we're about to drive. We're ready to rock and roll. So here is the email address. If you want to, you don't have to, let me just say first of all, if you don't feel comfortable in front of the camera, that's fine. That's fine. I don't mind. I can understand it. You know, I it's not for everyone. I totally get it, and each to their own, isn't it? I enjoy this. I like doing this, but it's not for everyone. I get it. But I still want to hear your thoughts. It doesn't matter if you don't want to be on camera. That's fine. You have a voice. You can type your voice. You can send me an email. You can either do it 2 ways. If you want to give me your choices in any episode from now to the 50th episode, give me your best year of movies and your 4 picks. Once you give me them picks, I will write them down. I'll note them down, and I will save them. And when it comes to that 50th episode, I'm determined to read out every single person in the community's choices. Whether it be, if it's 200 choices, I'll read out every single choice. I guarantee you that. One per person, though. One per person. And maybe if it's 1 million choices, I'm going to say no. I'm not doing 1 million. That's just silly. That's just silly. But I will do it. You don't have to send a video. You can send it via a message in the comments on YouTube, or if you want to contact me via Instagram, they're probably the best choices. But we have an alternative. We have the email address as well. This is also if you want to send a video. If you want to do a video version, what I will say, and I've said it previously, if you want to send a short video, you don't have to edit it down. You don't have to add any fancy music or fancy graphics. I'll do all that. I'll add all the music in if we need any music. Probably don't need music. Just send me a short video of like 30 seconds to 2 minutes long. I think that's a good amount because if we have more than one video, we want to try and get everyone in there. So look, I might not have any yet. This is I'm throwing it out there early, so we've got 4 or 5 weeks to try and get at least one collaboration for this the big 50 episode. But 30 seconds to 2 minutes long, roughly. Just start a video, tell me your name or the name of your channel or whatever you want to call yourself. Give me the year that you think is great. Give me a short reason and just give me your 4 choices. 4 choices, just get right to it. Throw them out there. And that's it. Say au revoir, say adios, and we'll get back to do another video. I just want people to get involved. I think it'd be awesome. So that is an open invitation to anyone out there. I will just say, let's keep it PG friendly, keep it family friendly. If you are prone to swearing, try and just keep it to a minimum, because I will have to use the swear button. I'll have to bleep stuff out, but that's all we need to know. As you know, keep it family friendly and sending them videos and sending them then messages of your 4 favourite movies from the best year in movies. That's what we're going to go for. So, hang on, let me give you the email address. That would help. So, the email address is Saturday Movie Show 50, and it's the number 50, so 50 at hotmail.com. I'll put that on screen as well. So, Saturday Movie Show 50 at hotmail.com. That's the email address you want to send that to if you want to get involved with the 50th episode. If you have any questions about it, feel free to email me on that, or send me, and probably send me something on Instagram if you're on Instagram. But if you want to send me any messages, any questions about it, just send it over. Like I said, get involved. This is a community for us all. It's not just me, it's you out there. Anyway, that is the not so worthy blockbuster housekeeping for today's show over and done with. So let's move forward and let's talk about today's headline topic. So, No Time to Die, the upcoming James Bond 007 movie, Daniel Craig's last outing as James Bond, is soon to come out. It's due out on the 30th of September, and I think again in early October the rest of the world. It's funny though, I've been reading articles today just prior to doing this video and just looking at the stuff online, and it's saying it could still be delayed. I think it was an article on Screen Rant, and it was saying like if the numbers don't rise, if the theatre numbers of people visitors to the theatres don't get significantly, sorry, that was a big word for me. If they don't get bigger in numbers, basically, they might delay the movie again. I can't see it now. I feel like a month out now. I know. Well, I suppose anything could happen. It could happen. We could. I suppose nothing's off the tables anymore when it comes to movies being delayed. Anything else going on in the world, these things can happen now, and we could potentially see another delay. My gut feeling says now, worst comes to worst, they will do some sort of hybrid release, and there'll be some sort of a movie theatre / digital stream release as well. I just can't see it going down the route of another delay. I just can't see it. I think it would just make, I don't know, I think it should be a more negative effect on the movie, delaying it again and again. I think it just, I get there's things going on outside the world with COVID, but it also, if from looking from a perspective of the film company and looking at fans of movies, I think fans just get frustrated. This is a movie that's been delayed 3 times already. And if they delay it and delay it again, it's like, when is they had to release it at some point. They can't keep on delaying it, because who's to say in a year's time things are not going to be very similar to what they are right now? We don't know, do we? It's the unknown. And you just keep on delaying it over and over again. And it's over a year it's been delayed. The initial date, I believe, was April 2020, the initial date for release was around that date. And then it was delayed till the November, and then April of this year, and then it's been delayed till this date now. So that's had a lot of delays. And I'm sure there is other movies out there that have had the same sort of, I think June was the same, that had similar delays. So it does happen, but I think for movie fans, would be frustrated for getting everything else that's going on. I understand it is still, obviously there's a lot of things going on in the world. I think the best thing personally is just release the movie. If they're worried about the numbers people getting in, do a hybrid release. It solves 2 problems, because if you've got people who can't get to the cinemas, they can get there. But anyway, let's move. This isn't a topic about that. We're not talking about the big C. We're talking about No Time to Die. We're talking about the James Bond movie. This is a discussion about the James Bond movie. So the headline topic begins right now, ladies and gents. So, am I excited for the movie? That is the first sort of thing I want to talk about. Am I excited? Well, look, after loads of delays, and as a big Bond fan, I am now at a point where I'm super excited. this show really came about from watching the new trailer that came out this week. And I watched this trailer, and I think it was very much like a re-release of the old trailer, maybe some added material in there, some more content for us all to watch. I am excited for the movie. I like Daniel Craig's Bond movies. I think he is a terrific Bond. I think he's great. I remember when they initially cast him, and I think it was like he did like some sort of promo, some sort of reveal. He was on like a boat, and I think he's from Chester in the UK. I'm pretty sure he's from Chester, and he may have, I can't remember, was it on the River Thames or was it in Chester? I remember there was some sort of reveal where he was on this speedboat and he was coming in. And I looked at him, and I'd never really seen him in anything before. Probably maybe like Tomb Raider, but I never remembered his face from that because it was just forgettable for me. But I looked at him and I thought, Pierce Brosnan looked like a Bond, and I seen this guy, and his hair wasn't dark. He was like a blonde hair, like blondish hair. And I was like, this guy does not look like a James Bond. And I'm like, who is this guy? Who's Daniel Craig? This complete random bloke. But fast forward a bit, I watched the first James Bond movie he does, Casino Royale, and it blew me away. I remember hearing family members, first of all, discussing Casino Royale and saying how good it was, and saying it was like a very different Bond movie. And I watched it, and it was like, yeah, it is different, and it was, there's a bit more of like a romance story in it this time, where it doesn't feel like there's so much romance. It's like, yeah, he's a Lothario, he's a womanizer, but he doesn't ever seem to be like true romance within the movies. But with was it Eva Mendes's character? I think it was that the actress in the first one. There was that romance angle, and it was a really good movie. And that the villain in the first one, played by Mads Mikkelsen, was great. It was just an overall great first outing for him. And some of the films after have not been up to scratch. Skyfall was definitely one at top of the rankings for me. Quantum of Solace, Spectre, not so much. They were down the pecking order for me more so. Is this going to be the final farewell? Is it going to be a flourish for the final movie? I hope it is. I really do hope it is. But I'm really excited as a fan of the Bond movies. I just think it's made it even more exciting because of the wait, and now having these big, like, loads of big movies come out at this point now. It's awesome, isn't it? It's cool, and I think because we've been waiting for it so long and because of the delays, it makes it more intriguing. You're just eager to see this movie. I know I am. I'm just like, I want to see the James Bond movie now. I can't wait to see it. So yeah, I am excited. I think it will be worth the wait. I really do. What do I think will happen though in Bond's final outing? What is going to be the final act of James Bond? And this is, looking, it's very vague. We don't really know what the story is going to be about. You could say the title, No Time to Die. You could say, is that some sort of link to what is going to happen? He's got no time to die. He's not going to die because he's James Bond. Or, I don't know, is it because it's his final one? People are saying, are they going to kill off James Bond? I don't think, to my knowledge, I don't think they've killed Bond off before. I don't think so. I've watched all of Bond films. I've even watched that really awful one with George Lazenby, the American guy. That was like Iron Man 3 levels of trash, that one. That was, what movie was that? I think it was in like a ski lodge or something like that. It was just a really bad movie. And then after that, they got Sean Connery back for like one more movie before Roger Moore came in. God awful movie. But I don't think they'll kill him off. I think it's inevitable they are going to reboot this franchise at some point down the road. Probably within the next 3 to 4 years, they're gonna reboot it again, fresh actor in, whole new cast, new look Bond, and I think it just seems it would be odd to break the tradition of killing this character off and then 4 years later they do a reboot and the character's alive again. I don't know. Maybe if you do it like an ending where it's very like a mysterious ending, like an Inception-like ending. It's like, is he dead or isn't he dead? Kind of like, I suppose with the Dark Knight Rises, but if you skipped out the ending where Alfred goes into that cafe and sees him with Catwoman, do you know where you see the bat helicopter, the bat plane, whatever it's called, blow up, and you think he's dead, and then he did escape, and then Alfred sees him. But if you did like something like where it was like a bit where some side of people are saying he dies, he did die, or and then people are saying creating these theories where he's like, oh, there's no way he died. Do you know, if you leave it like in a black, if they just leave it like a Sopranos like ending where you don't really know what goes on at the end, that could be a good finish to it. But I personally wouldn't kill him off. I think killing him off, I know it's not really important because it is his last movie. It doesn't matter if they kill him off or not because either way it's going to get rebooted, so it doesn't really matter. And I mean, the character's they're not gonna reference stuff from these movies as well. But I just don't think killing. I don't think you can kill James Bond off because he's a super spy. He's the hero. You don't kill your main hero off unless he's Iron Man in Endgame. You don't do it. You just don't do it. So I wouldn't kill him off. I think either leave it a very like a mysterious ending, like a Sopranos, where you don't really know what's going on. Have like a big, coming together with the main villain, or just have Bond come out in a flourish and maybe he just retires. Maybe that's it. Maybe it ends with him retiring, and then he gets sort of like a message through for another 007 mission, or he just like go. It ends with him going into M's office, and it turns out Judi Dench is not dead, and she returns as M because the new M dies in this movie. That could be a prediction right now. That could be a prediction. I would not be surprised if I'm throwing. This is a prediction out right here, right now. I'm throwing out here that Judi Dench, her character of M, even though she died, there'll be some sort of comeback. I think she'll feature in this movie. I know she was in the last one in like a video of somehow. Maybe she'll feature again. I think she'll be in this. I really do. I think she's been such a mainstay character throughout the past couple of years. And I suppose, I contradicted myself there before in saying they don't reference things from older James Bond movies, but she was in the Pierce Brosnan ones, and she was in the Daniel Craig one. She was in both. We don't really know if she's playing the exact same role. Well, she is playing M, but we don't know if it's the same one from the same universe, because that's like saying then Pierce Brosnan's James Bond is then he turns into Daniel Craig's James Bond. It just doesn't make any sense. So I think she's just like the actress has been brought over. It's like a separate world, separate universe. But I reckon she will feature, and that is my big, bold prediction within this. I don't know what type of format she will feature. I could honestly see it in the end. Like, he goes into the office, and the M, who is Voldemort, that guy, he dies in the movie, and then he's meeting the new M. And it turns out it's Judi Dench. And I'm not a big Judi Dench fan. I'm not a big fan of hers. I just don't really gel to her as an actress. I know she's a talented actress, but I just don't gel to her. But I think a lot of people would like that. I think they'd like it because she's such a big character within the James Bond universe, and that is my big prediction for No Time to Die. So I don't think he'll die. I think he will survive. I think it will be either he meets a new M in the office at the end, or he just retires and he just goes happily ever after, and we see him in his fancy car going off, driving into the sunset, and that's it. And we hear ding 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 ding. That'll be the end. That's my ending. That's what I think would be perfect. Little fact, well, we know this. I just mentioned this. It is the 5th outing of Daniel Craig's character. I don't think it's beat Sean Connery's. Sean Connery's done a few more, I think. But it's 5 outings. It's pretty good, isn't it? It's pretty awesome. I think his first film, Casino Royale, was released in 2006. Wow, that's a long time ago now. 15 years. That is crazy. Crazy. But let's talk about villains for this movie. So, Rami Malek is the main villain, or you were led to believe that he's the main villain. Rami Malek, a lot of people will know him from, I think it was Mr. Robot TV show. He played Freddie Mercury in the Queen movie. I actually thought that Queen movie was pretty bad. I thought it was a bit of a bad movie, but I did like his performance as Freddie Mercury. I thought he nailed it. From watching like interviews of Freddie Mercury, he was spot on. His performance was great. I just thought the movie was just wasn't anything going on there. It felt like a big, long music video for Queen. And I like Queen, but I just don't think that was a good movie. Stepping aside from that, though, his villain in this, we're led to believe that he is the main villain in this new movie. He is playing the character of Liut Sifa Safin. I probably butchered that name, and I don't care, because I've not watched the movie yet. I don't know how you pronounce it. Is his villain linked to some of the other characters? Is his villain the main villain? And is his villain who we think he is? Some big questions right there. Let's first of all talk about, is there a link between him and any other villains, or even James Bond? I think with the fifth and final outcome this being, I'm just going to get a glass of water, guys. Sorry about that, I had to get a water break. I was dry mouth. I feel like it's the fifth and final James Bond movie. And we had, every movie so far has had, like, bringing in these classic characters. We've got Moneypenny, Q, we've had Blofeld, there's, Spectre. Are they going to bring in this character now as a complete unknown character, or is he going to have a link to another character? So, there's a few options here, really. I think the main options he could be some sort of like a son or a brother of Blofeld's, of Christopher Waltz's character, who is in the last movie. He's going to feature in this movie. Again, we don't know how much airtime he'll get in this, but could he be a relation of his character? Could he even be a relation of James Bond himself? We don't know. There is another option. Raul Silva's character, played by Javier Bardem in Skyfall, the main villain in that, could he potentially be like a relative of his, maybe a brother or a son? It's interesting. I personally, my gut tells me that he's going to be linked with Blofeld somehow. I feel like he could be Blofeld's son. I do feel like he could be something like that. And I think he may be like someone that James Bond has maybe contacted before, maybe he knows of him somehow in the past, but he never knew it was Blofeld's son. I feel like there's going to be some sort of link like that. That is why the connection is. I know there has been rumours over the past year or two that he could be Dr. No. And I've been reading online that some of like the sets look similar to the final sets in Dr. No, the first James Bond movie. Could maybe the big reveal similar to the last movie where, we don't know it's Blofeld to the end, but we all kind of knew he was playing Blofeld, didn't we? It was super obvious. But could he be Dr. No? I don't know. It's the only thing that makes me think maybe he could be Dr. No is because of all the callbacks to the other movies with Spectre, with Blofeld. It's the 25th Bond movie. Could they be just doing this as like a tie to the history of James Bond? They could potentially, but I feel like his character will be the son of Blofeld. I feel like it's going to be a new, fresh character in a way, but he's got a connection to the James Bond universe. And I think it would be better. Maybe do Dr. No in the next movie, in the next James Bond series, the reboot. Leave it for that. I don't feel like they're going to throw too many big classic characters from the past, because they're going to inevitably have to reboot this and recast these characters. So I would certainly have just a connection to Blofeld, maybe make him his son. But I do think there's going to be some sort of connection there. I don't think he's just going to be some random character who's. I mean, you could say look, let's play devil's advocate here. He's got this weird white mask on, like a Guy Fawkes type mask, and he's got he's got like a scarred face. Could it be he is out to dominate the world and destroy the world because something that James Bond and his agency of double O's did to him? You know, there could be some sort of accident that left him scarred as a child, and it was because of James Bond. It could be something like that. It could be that could be where his connection to why he wants to destroy James Bond. And then Blofeld could then sort of like try and manipulate him. Blofeld in this movie is what's his role going to be? He is now in prison. He's a prisoner. He's working with Bond. It looks like he's like giving that Hannibal Lecter sort of vibe where he's just helping Bond. But will he have a significant role in this movie? My gut tells me that Blofeld is going to escape prison and he is going to be the overall big boss of this movie. I don't feel like Rami Malek, as good as an actor as he is, I feel like Christopher Waltz is Blofeld. It's Blofeld, isn't it? He's the main guy. I think it's going to end with a big final fight between James Bond, Blofeld, and that is going to be the final battle here. But I do feel like Blofeld is going to be the guy pulling all the strings here. And even when he's in prison, I think he's still going to be controlling everything to do with this plot and to do with the villain here. I think he's going to have a big role to play within this movie. But you know what? I can't wait. I can't wait for this movie now. I've just checking my notes, make sure we got anything else to talk about here with this movie. But yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I think it's going to be a great movie. Great movie. We've waited a long time. Would I like to see more Daniel Craig? Sure, I'd love to see more Daniel Craig movies. I'd love to see more. I think he's been terrific. He's been a great Bond. I think he could definitely do more. I remember it came out though that after like the last one, he was like he just didn't enjoy the process. I think there's like loads of stuff he was like saying it was horrible filming that movie, and it seems like he's now officially done with James Bond movies, and we're gonna get a fresh face after him now. So it sounds like he is done, and this is the final farewell. But I just hope it is just an all-out action, all-out Bond movie. I hope it is a similar vibe to what Skyfall was. Skyfall it offered us something fresh. Spectre felt like it was going in a genre. It was going back to the classic Bonds too much, and it felt like it was taking too many steps backwards. Whereas Skyfall was like 10 steps forward. So I hope No Time to Die just takes a few more steps forward and gives us the best possible last James Bond movie for Daniel Craig. I can't wait. I can't wait. As a 007 fan, as a James Bond fan, I am super excited to watch No Time to Die. It's going to be great. But anyway, let's move the show forward. Let's move away from the headline topic of today's show and let's talk about some movies for the weekend. This is a part of the show, Movies for the Weekend, where we talk about some movie recommendations for you this weekend. So as this is a dedicated show to James Bond, and as it's only a few weeks away now from the big movie coming out, I feel like today, on the Saturday Movie Show, it would only be right to do the recommendations as James Bond movies. And there's two movies I think would be great little warm-ups before the big release. So first of all, we've got Skyfall. What a film. What an absolute film. Javier Bardem's character of Raul Silva was awesome. Awesome. Great film. Then we move to the sequel of Spectre. I said it's not as good as Skyfall, but it's still a decent movie. We get the introduction of Blofeld. I feel like they could have done more with that character in that movie. Hopefully they will give him more, a better outing in this second one. His second outing with Christopher Waltz as taking on that role. But Spectre, definitely worth watching. And I feel like maybe there could be some hints to what we're going to see in this movie. Some hints, some more Spectre action, some more links to Spectre in this upcoming movie. So they are my movie recommendations for this weekend, ladies and gents. I hope you like those recommendations. Let me know any recommendations you have for me this weekend. Anyway, let's go forward with what have I been watching this week. I will start off with what I've been watching today. I was sitting on my Nintendo Switch earlier on, and I was going to play. There's this game called Horizon something. I can't remember what it's called. Something Pursuit Horizon, something like that. I'll have to show it sometime. But it's a racing game. It's like an outrun style retro racing game. It's an awesome game, fantastic game. It's just really cool. I love the soundtrack. I love the styling of the game. It's just a cool game to chill out to. I was about to turn it on, but they have like a little news sort of things on the Switch where you can check out what's latest in the news, all related to the Nintendo Switch. And they had this new app they were advertising, Pokemon TV, and I'd never heard of this. And obviously, I've grown up with Pokemon, big fan, and I was like, let's see what this app is. And it's a free app on the Switch, and apparently you can get it on like every other platform now by the sounds of it. Pokemon TV, and it's got like free. You can watch a few different seasons of the Pokemon series, and I've been watching the old like first 2 seasons of Pokemon are on there, and it's awesome. It's all free of charge. You don't have to sign up. You can sign in as a guest, and it's awesome. So I've been watching the first couple of episodes of the first season of Pokemon today, and just loving it, enjoying it, and just going back to my childhood, remembering all these characters and the stories, and it's great. I mean, the animation animation has definitely improved over the years from the 90s, but it is still late 90s it come out, that animated show. It's still pretty good. It's a still pretty good show, and I love Pokemon. I love the mythology of Pokemon. I think it's just it's a fun show to watch, and for kids and for adults as well. Even as an adult, I still enjoy it. I think it's great. The music in Pokemon as well is just phenomenal. It's got like that prog rock style of sounding, like synths, guitar. It's ace. But Pokemon, I've been watching a few episodes of Pokemon today. That has been fun to reminisce about of watching that show and just to enjoy it as well, because it's a great show as well. What else have I been watching this week? I've been watching last night I watched for the first time in a couple of months Avengers Endgame, and I can't remember the last time. I think I watched it initially at the cinema, and then I watched it again at home a few times. And I rewatch a lot of them scenes on a regular basis because I love watching like the battle scene in that is ace when they all come back after the snap. But that film is just phenomenal. It's just like you look at like the Star Wars movies as classic movies that will stand the test of time, and that is definitely up there. It's Endgame. We're going to be looking in 20 years' time. I mean, we're looking back now at the first Iron Man, and we're still. I'm loving it, and I'm sure a lot of you are still loving them early MCU movies. I think in 20, 30 years' time, we're still going to be looking back at Endgame, and I still think we're going to still be in the MCU then. It's going to be so far ahead then, but we're going to be looking back and saying, wow, look at where it was 20 years ago. We had Endgame. Remember that? Remember that film when we come out? Remember being in the cinema when Iron Man said, I am Iron Man? And the emotion. And I was getting the emotion. I could feel the emotion while I was in the cinema. You feel like I don't cry. I'm not a guy who cries at films, but I kind of like feel like the emotion feeling. I don't know how I can describe it, but when certain events take place in that movie, it's a surreal feeling. You get like emotionally attached to that movie because it's a really good movie, and it's a great storytelling, really great storytelling. I really enjoyed it, and it's just the action scenes are just super phenomenal, aren't they? Just to watch how far we've come when it comes to movie making. It is awesome. Really awesome. But that's what I've been watching this week anyway. Pokemon and Endgame. They're two of the main ones that I've enjoyed watching this week anyway. But that is the end of today's show, ladies and gents. If you enjoyed today's show, please do give it a like. And let's get up to that 500 subscribers as well. If you're not subscribed, please do subscribe as well, ladies and gents. Thank you very much for watching. We've got more movie-related content on the channel as well. If you want to check it out, there's plenty of action on here, plenty of different types of movie-related content. But anyway, it's been a great show. But what are your thoughts on No Time to Die? What are your predictions? Who do you think will die? That is the question. Who will die in No Time to Die? Who do you think Rami Malek's villain will be? Will he be revealed as someone else? What are your predictions? What are your overall predictions for James Bond? Will he meet his end in this movie? Give me all your predictions for this movie. Let me know what your thoughts are on this movie, on the trailers being released, on the recent trailer as well. And let me know how excited you are for the new James Bond movie. Maybe you're not into James Bond. Let me know if you're not into James Bond. Let me know why you don't like James Bond. Anyway, as always, thank you very much for joining me today on this Saturday movie show. And as always, I will see you next time.